at you for an evening of good evening grinders. So, this week's been a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Quite sure you had the same. Quite sure you had revelations and reflections and things of that matter. So, just wanted to come at you. As I always say, I'm coming at you. I guess I'm coming at you. I'm on a horse coming at you. But just wanted to come at you and just talk to you. Because this is Good Evening Grinders. And as I always say, I write this show. I do this show right here. This one in particular. Because I know what it's like when you're trying to work on your grind. And I'm just going to be a little bit specific. It's like an engine starting. Just to get that thing to turn over sometimes is really tough. And this is for those that, today's episode is for those that just get that engine to just turn over. And then to get that momentum going. You know, if you're already grinding and you got it going on, you need this message too. You need the message of keep going, don't give up, get off the couch. But if you're just trying to get that engine to turn over, if you're just trying to get that wheel to just move, and those first pushes, if you took like a if you ever pushed a car when it was like, not moving, it was dead or something like that, that initial amount of push or power or energy is tremendous. But once you get it rolling, it starts to get a whole lot easier. It's also like electricity. When you have when you turn something on, the surge starts the power of an appliance, especially like a power tool. You ever had a power tool and you turned it on and it's plugged up to the house? You'll notice how the lights sometimes dim because it takes a lot of power to get the engine to go over. So this Good Evening Grind is for those that need to understand that it does take a lot of power. It takes a lot of energy to just get the ball rolling. It does take a lot of energy to just get started. Now, some of you may be saying, yeah, that's obvious, or why is he talking about that, or that I'm beyond that point. If you're beyond that point, this is still important because maybe you're beyond that point, but somebody else needs to hear this message. Somebody probably may need you to talk to them, to come to them, to be with them and say, you gotta push. So sometimes if you do have that car and it's not moving and you can't get it to move, you just need somebody to help you. But like if you're pushing a car and somebody needs to eventually steer it, once that car is moving, somebody can kind of like jump in and get that car steered in the right direction while the person is pushing with the momentum that it already has. So that being said, it is important, even if you're beyond this, to look back at somebody and just give them a call, reach out to them and just say, hey man, I know you've probably been taking a long time to just get the ball rolling, but come on man, get the ball rolling. And I want you to understand it takes a lot of energy, initial energy to get the ball rolling. It takes a lot of energy, meaning first it takes the energy of you telling yourself yes to something instead of you telling yourself no all the time. That is one critical component of getting the ball rolling. Then it's taking the moment to say, I am going to commit to this. I'm going to commit and sustain myself and continue being committed. Because if you don't do that, when it gets tough to push yourself or get up or get the ball rolling or get your momentum going, if it's just too tough and you don't commit to making sure that this machine, that this person, you move, you will stop, you will quit. So you have to commit to this. You have to say, this mountain must move, this dead car must move. I must turn over with electricity. I must have a surge of electric. You need to get electric. You need to have a power surge in you to get the ball rolling. So stop telling yourself no and tell yourself yes. Then say I'm going to be committed. And then after you make that commitment, remember to always look back a lot of times during the day. Massive amounts of action of looking at what you're supposed to be doing. Good Evening Grinders is supposed to tell you. You cannot just think about what it is that you want to do 1 or 2 times a day. So I'm coming to you in the evening to tell you, you got to do this. Tony Robbins would have you do some questions and say, did you do what you were supposed to do today? Are you happy of the results? So you got to tell yourself yes. You got to stay committed. You got to remember to reflect and look at why you're doing it. Why you're doing it, and remind yourself to do it. That's very important because we can get distracted during the day. Emotions, bad things, bills, things that we're not expecting, things that we're not thinking about come in and knock you down. And you need a power surge of energy after all of those 3 of action. You just need to commit a lot of action. There's a documentary on HBO with Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. I keep forgetting the name. I'm going to get the name for you. But some of the cast members or some of the people that was interviewed, I remember Gwen Stefani said Jimmy kept telling her, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Massive amounts of action. You have to keep producing. You have to do more. If the ball is not rolling yet, that means you did not come up with a power surge of action to get things started. Again, you take a power tool. If you turn on a light bulb, the most amount of electricity or power is the initial amount. And once it's running, then it will probably be on a constant. But the initial start, you need a lot of power. So if you have a business, so like for instance, I have a business, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Again, I'm not a guru. I'm not some big shot yet, but I always thought that sometimes we will, maybe some of us need someone that you can relate to. We're going through the same thing. I'm talking to you because I'm going through the same thing you're going through. And I would love for somebody to reach out to me and say, hey man, what are you doing? So that, again, that's why I do the podcast, is I would love for somebody to say, bro, you're doing your podcast, you're doing your music, you doing your business. So getting back to what I was saying, I have a business, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've been failing at that business. And I know that with your failures, you become successful. So I really don't like to say failure, but I'm going to make it simple. I've been failing at that business. And the thing I thought about today, and the thing that I thought that I could share with you, and hopefully one day you'll hear this and you kick it back to me and make me remember what I'm saying, or you just, bring a new light to it, is that I was like, man, the business that I have to be aware and say I have no business. There's nothing coming in, there's nothing going out. And why is there nothing coming in and nothing going out? And it simply boils down to how much energy am I putting in? Am I putting enough energy into it to get results out of it? And I feel like I'm always at the startup point. And I'm like, man, how do you get out of this startup point? And I just thought of the analogy of you need a power surge. You need an extreme amount of power. Of course, doing the right things. But you need a lot of power. And it may be some things, I don't know, I could be wrong. So don't quote me on this, or don't just go with this way. Maybe it's a In the beginning stages is do everything until you figure out the things that are working for the business. So if somebody will go and say, hey man, I tried everything in the world and nothing's working. And as I have to go back to Tony Robbins on this, and he said, if you did everything, then something would have worked. Because I know, he was like, I know business, something would have worked. So maybe I'm not being committed enough, or maybe you're not being committed enough. But if you want to start a business, what I'm saying to you is this: if you want to start a business, you need a power surge of energy. You need to do a massive amount of stuff, and until you see the ball rolling, that means you have not committed a lot of energy to it. Is all of that energy in one day? No, I think that energy is in a span of time where it's condensed enough where people recognize it, but it's enough energy where people also respect it. So, like for instance, I'm doing a podcast now. It's brand new, and I'm building it. Someone told me the other day, "Oh, you just need to do 1 or 2 episodes a week." That is crazy. That's insane. If I do 1 or 2 episodes a week, that or 1 or 2 hits a week, it'll be only 52. I'm trying to get to 1,000 within this year of 2018 because I know 1,000 will work. I was reading a book called Known. I forgot the gentleman's name, and he was saying the same exact thing. You need to commit so much content on your podcast or similar activities that the consistency is there. You need that consistency of work or that surge of power. So if you have a podcast, if you have paintings or whatever you have, music, you need to create and be committed to creating a overabundant, consistent amount of work where you are respected enough and someone says, yeah, this boy's been working. Because if I do 1 or 2 podcasts, or if I do one painting a month or stuff like that, it looks like a hobby. It doesn't look like you're really, really serious about it. So I just wanted to come to you real quick and just say, hey, continue to grind, continue to work. If you feel like it's not turning over, you got to get a power surge. A surge of power. Your power, the word power is defined as action, an actionable amount, or a surge of action rather. A surge of action. That's what power surge means. A surge of action. An action that surged itself, to just welled up and said, bam, and here we go. So, anyway, if things are not clicking over, you got to stop telling yourself no about the project, no about the growth that you want to have. You got to be committed. You got to be ready to review every day, all throughout the day. My project. This is what I want to do. This is my dream. Get it done, get it done. And I need to create a lot of action. Anyway, so hopefully that was a good message for some of you that always seem to be stuck on the start position and never get to the next level. If you're stuck on the start positions because you did not create enough actionable results, power surge of results to get you to the next step, to get you that momentum to go. So if your business is failing, I have a business, it's failing. Simple as that. If it's failing, either you got to give that sucker up, or you may have to just look and see you never actually gave yourself enough action to get it done. If, like I'm a realtor, and that's the business I'm talking about. A lot of realtors look at successful realtors and be like, what happened? Yeah, there's many different ways to the path of success in that game, but they're taking action. A power surge of action could be a little spark, but taking a better amount of action than you are. So anyway, this is the Christopher Complex. Always want to come to you with some good positive energy. We got a few conversations that are recorded. We're going to be editing those things out and sending them out, and they're going to start to all connect They're going to give you a lot of insight. I was talking to um, uh, Danny Shaw of TRPL. We're going to be talking to some other people. Man, oh my God, you guys are going to be able to get some good nuggets to make your lives better. That's what this is all about. This is the Christopher Complex. Check out the music. We're going to be doing some video episodes real soon too, to also expand. If you're going through hell right now, expand. According to Grant Cardone, read that book, 10X Rules. You need to expand when you're going through hell and not contract. Expand, expand, expand. Nature always expands. So anyway, this is the Christopher Complex coming at you. Hit me up at the Christopher Complex on Twitter, and you can check me out. Check out the things I'm about. I would love to share what you're doing. I would love to see what you're doing, because I need to learn myself too. And I will definitely hit you up on Twitter if you got something going on. If you doing digi-marketing, some cat hit me up, man, from another country. He's doing digi-marketing. I can't wait to check that brother out. Anyway, this is the Christopher Complex. Hit me up at the Chris Complex. You can also check me out at ChristopherComplex.com. Peace.